Hi there and welcome to Connecticut Style. I'm Teresa LaBarbera. We have a great show lined up for you today. Balancing a marriage and a business can be tough, but it's not impossible. Dr. Patty Ann is here. She's going to share her new book, Not Tonight Dear, I've Got a Business to Run. And do you know how to perform CPR? A local doctor is asking people to step up to the challenge. We'll tell you all about a big event and show you how you could help save someone's lives. And we're here in the kitchen with Claire Criscuolo of Claire's Cornucopia. And you're going to tell us all about a really fun event, aren't you, Claire?
I'm looking forward to it.
What is it? What's going on?
Well, we have the fashion show for the tennis tournament.
Okay.
And the Food and Wine Festival. So there's a lot happening.
And you're very involved in this?
I love it. It's our 5th year being involved in the Food and Wine Festival. And this year I got to create the recipe. The recipes for the menu for the actual fashion show. And it's wonderful because, you know, it raises a lot of money. It raises awareness. It's just a great event. I love it.
And what are we going to make here today?
We're doing Connecticut coleslaw.
I like that. And I was looking at the ingredients. I noticed there was no mayonnaise. So this is a healthy coleslaw.
This is coleslaw? This is all about flavor and health. And it has olive oil and mustard and some apple cider vinegar. You're going to like it.
Good. I'll help you make it. But first, Claire, look into camera 2. Tell everyone what they need to do.
Sit back and relax. You're having lunch with style.
I like taking care of things. My kids, my dog, my azaleas. So it's nice when someone takes care of me. Like our car insurance company, Amica. When I had an accident, Amica treated me so well. The first thing they asked was, "Are you okay?" And then they dealt with the whole mess and called again to make sure I was happy. You want to be taken care of? Call Amica.
You could save hundreds with Amica Auto Insurance. Call for a free quote now.
I am a value-seeking missile. Saving money's great, but saving money on the best, that's what I live for. So I was beyond ecstatic when I called Amica for car insurance. The quote was way less than what I was paying. Amica found all these other ways to help me save money. Good driver discounts, auto plus home discounts, and I got accident forgiveness. Search over? Value acquired.
You could save hundreds with Amica Auto Insurance. Call for a free quote now.
Fall 2008. America faced financial collapse. Pensions and savings wiped out. Home values gone. Taxpayers paid Chris Murphy almost $170,000 a year while he sat on congressional committees that oversaw this crisis. But Murphy skipped 170 hearings, nearly 80%. And now he wants a promotion. Chris Murphy, how can he fight for us when he doesn't even show up for the job?
I'm Linda McMahon, and I approve this message.
Meet Gil on the Green in Windsor this Thursday.
Well, get your palates ready. The New Haven Food and Wine Festival kicks off later next week, and preparations are underway. Claire Criscuolo of, I didn't say that right. Say it one more time for me, Claire.
Criscuolo.
Criscuolo. You said it. All right. She's from Claire's Cornucopia and Basta Trattoria, and you are going to be featured at the New Haven Food and Wine Fest, which is pretty fun.
It's wonderful. This is our 5th year, and we're one of the many restaurants in New Haven who are going to be there, and you have to come. It's the most delicious, energizing, wonderful event.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
A lot of restaurants, and everyone brings different foods and different desserts, and you drink wine and
who doesn't want to do that, right?
No, exactly. Everybody wants to do that.
Before we get started, tell me a little bit about your cookbook. I know that there's a lot of options in there. Let's put it that way.
It's the newest one. It's the 4th one. It just came out recently, and it has over 300 recipes, but I love that the publishing company did designations. So you could look at what's gluten-free, what's vegan, what has a vegan option, what has a gluten-free option. But it's all vegetarian, and it has some essays about food and about seasons, and a lot of love letters from our customers.
Oh,
it's
that's
wonderful.
Great. I'm glad you're able to include them. All right, what are we making here today?
Today I'm making a Connecticut...
I see a cabbage.
Yes, a Connecticut coleslaw. You know, coleslaw, well, cabbage in general. Cabbage is so healthy. It is a cruciferous vegetable, so it's great for that battle against cancer.
Okay.
And it's just wonderful. It's inexpensive. It's available year-round. You could stuff it, you could saute it and roast it. You can chop it up and put it in pierogies.
Oh, I like
pierogies. You could put it in egg rolls.
Or you could eat it on St. Patrick's Day.
And you could eat it on St. Patrick's Day. So what you want to do is, this has very few simple ingredients. You're going to take your cabbage and you're going to just shred it. Now, you know, I've met people who say, oh, I don't use a lot of vegetables because I'm terrified to cut them. I understand that. I mean, I have quite a bit of experience. But If you're intimidated, don't let that stop you from using vegetables.
You're making it look
Stick a
very
knife in,
easy.
Stick a fork and chop
that
it.
would work.
Whatever way you're going to do it, do not avoid eating vegetables. 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables a day are really needed for optimum health. So we've got our cabbage. Let's leave that guy out. He's too big.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to just toss that up. And then I'm putting raisins.
Oh,
so
that
not only do you have this
sweetness.
crunchiness of that, but you also have the chewiness. So you've got some nice texture, you've got more fiber, you've got more flavor, you've got more health. And organic apple.
Okay.
So you can try different kinds of apples. This is a Fuji apple, which has a nice little kind of a spiciness to it.
Okay.
But if you try different kinds of apples, they're really good for you. They're loaded with fiber and vitamin C, but they're also they have different flavors, so you want to try different kinds.
We'll sample.
So we're just going to toss it away, and then you're going to put a little bit of salt and pepper. Got some very fun pink salt today.
Ooh.
The Himalayas. And a little bit of pepper. And then you're going to make a dressing. So you're just going to toss it. And you could put cranberries if you wanted. You could put peaches. Whatever you love, you can put in. It just gets like a teaspoon of Dijon mustard.
Now,
It gets...
Claire, I just want to ask you, is cabbage in season? Does it ever go out of season?
Oh God, cabbage is available year-round because it could get stored.
Okay.
You know, it's from your gardens right now and from the farmers markets and our farmers right now. But it's so inexpensive and it is available year-round. And don't just have it at your picnic. You can make coleslaw and have it on the side of any entree during the year. It's wonderful with roasted vegetables and then a little coleslaw on the side.
Okay.
Maybe a veggie burger. So I put some honey. About a teaspoon of honey, about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, which is another, not only delicious, but good for digestion.
Okay.
And about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which is wonderful because then you have your monounsaturated
whisk,
fats.
I like that.
Yeah, a little baby one. Okay, so you're just going to whisk it around a little bit, and then all you do is just toss it over your salad. Now, you can make the dressing the day before.
Okay.
You can make the whole salad the day before, like
Yeah, I
I did.
noticed I was sitting here and it seems like it's fine to, it's still got a little crunch to it.
It has a little crunch, but it absorbs a little more of the dressing, so it's, you know, it's a little softer, but it's lovely. So either way, I mean, I actually like to make it the day before when I'm putting it in a sandwich. If you buy, like, let's say you buy those, the sliced turkey, the vegetarian sliced turkey they have, you make a sandwich with that with coleslaw.
I've never tried
vegetarian
turkey.
You know, it's really good.
Okay.
It's delicious.
I'll
and
take
it's
your
worth
word
a try.
on it. Let's talk about the New Haven Food and Wine Fest.
Oh, yes.
You said it's a fabulous event. 5 years you've been here. What are some of the foods people could find there?
Oh, gosh. Well, you usually have a ceviche. You usually have something Indian, something Thai. Beautiful displays. Ibiza is one of the people who are always there, and they have wonderful things, as does the Omni and Heirloom and 116 Crown.
All the fabulous restaurants downtown.
All our food buddies. And we're going to be bringing from Basta. Sergi's going to be making farfalle funghi, a very popular dish at Basta.
Okay.
And we're bringing fairy cakes from Claire's.
Now, what is a fairy cake?
We used to call them little mini cupcakes, but then all these people from England came in and said, oh, you have fairy cakes.
Oh.
And then on the Olympics, they were doing a piece, and they said, a bunch of people came in and said, you have to have fairy cakes when you come to England. So it's like, oh my God, I'm glad we changed the name to fairy cakes.
Wow.
So we're bringing a variety of our cakes. We have to bring our Lithuanian coffee cake, or if we don't.
It's very popular, huh?
If we don't bring it, everybody says, you didn't bring Lithuanian coffee cake.
Everyone's looking
so
for it.
We're going to bring
great.
it.
All right, Claire, we are going to taste this at the end of the show. It smells wonderful already. And of course, we'll have the recipe on WTNH.com. Let's put some information up on the screen. The New Haven Food and Wine Festival at the New Haven Open at Yale. It's being held on August 22nd and 23rd. Go to newhavenopen.com. And the New Haven Open at Yale kicks off on Friday, August 17th and runs through the 25th. You could find out how to buy tickets by visiting our website. Sounds great. All right, we're going to check in just a minute with you. And coming up next, a local doctor is putting you to the test. Learn how to save life. We'll be right back.
Everyone has a secret obsession, and tonight the secret's out. From having thousands of shoes
You have approximately 1,200 pairs of shoes.
to perfectly pampered pets, even looking in the mirror. Tonight, don't miss I'm Obsessed With, a special 2020 at 10/9 Central on ABC.
Let me tell you some of the reasons people get into trouble with credit cards. A job loss or salary cut, an unexpected expense, a divorce. As founder of Consolidated Credit, I understand that credit card problems are not about overspending. It's about emergencies and unexpected situations. There's a lot of ways to get into trouble with debt. There's only one trusted way to get out. Consolidated Credit.
Call Consolidated Credit now. 1-800-774-8296. I'm attorney Vincent Trantolo. My firm provides you with your very own case concierge. It's a special treatment that other lawyers don't provide. That's what it means to be legal veterans. Call 888-TRAN-TOLO.
Ever find yourself at a cookout with nothing to talk about except the weather?
So, how do you like this weather?
How about talking about your brand new car?
You know, I got a brand new car at Bob's in Milford for just $99 a month.
Big deal, I can't drive.
See Bob's for great summer deals on Buicks, GMCs, and pre-owned vehicles.
And as always, no one works harder at getting you financed.
Bob's of Milford.
He just wants to get you a loan.
Open Sundays.
Setting a new Guinness World Record, that's what a local cardiologist is trying to do. Dr. Tom Nero of Comprehensive Cardiology of Stanford and Greenwich is heading up a challenge to train 10,000 people on how to perform CPR in one day. Doctor, that's quite a goal.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it. It's, it's coming up very quickly on August 25th. We're going to try to break the Guinness World Record for training people in hands-only CPR.
I mean, it's a great skill for people to know.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's one of those things where we know that if people try to do CPR when it becomes necessary, just trying will double the chances of someone surviving. So that alone, we know that we can make a difference by doing this event.
Great. Now, you're an interventional cardiologist. Explain to our viewers what that means.
It's someone who puts in angioplasties and stents when someone has a blockage in an artery, but in essence, I'm the guy who rushes in the middle of the night and opens up someone's artery when they're having a heart attack.
And saves their lives.
We
try your best.
Yeah, we try to.
All right. So let's talk about the event. How'd you come up with this idea? Why breaking the world record?
Well, about 5 years ago, we started doing something called therapeutic hypothermia, which is a process where someone, when they come in cardiac arrest, it helps save the brain metabolically. And we realized that we could double their survival once they've gotten to the hospital. But really, in order to make a big difference, we had to get them alive to the hospital.
Right, okay.
And right now, only about 25% of people get CPR in the field, and that translates into about a 10% survival rate. And we know that we can get up to 50% of people doing CPR if we teach them how, if we give them the skills and the confidence to do so. So after trying to do small events and little things, we realized that we had to get to the whole community at once.
Aim big, right?
Get the whole community together to really say as one voice, this is something we support, this is something that we think you can do. So that when it comes down to it, with that last minute where someone's in front of you, you feel comfortable that you can do this, you can do it easily, and that the community is behind you in doing this. So we hope that truly this one event may even double the utility of CPR in our community within 1 year.
That's impressive. How do you take part? Do you just show up? Do you need to pre-register?
We would like people to pre-register. They can go to www.handsforlife.org to register. They don't have to register to come, though. The registration is just so that we don't have 10,000 people all showing up at noon. But if someone on Saturday morning decides, boy, I'm having a good time, text their friend, and their friend comes at 1, we'd be happy to have them. So we really want everyone to come. No one should stay away.
And I think what's great is that your son is taking part in this event, and he's 5, so this is for all ages.
It's for all ages. Mostly we're training adults. I mean, really, adults do CPR. Younger kids don't. But we want to give them the confidence that they can. And so yes, my 5-year-old son is going to be very excited. He's going to try to train some other 5- and 6-year-olds that day. But really, it's for older kids and adults, mostly adults, so that they can come feel confident that when the event occurs, that they can jump into action and do the right thing.
Okay, now Doctor, you brought some friends with you here.
I brought our mannequins, and really, CPR is extremely, extremely easy. But the first thing you need to know is how to identify someone's having a cardiac arrest.
Okay.
The person's collapsed in front of you, and you want to see if they're breathing and if they're responsive.
Okay.
So you're going to shake them real hard. Hey, 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 are you okay? Are you okay? If they're non-responsive, you want to call 911 immediately, because you want to get the real
trained professionals there, right?
There as quickly as you can. Then you're going to look to see if they're breathing. If they're not breathing, if you don't see the chest rise and fall, you don't hear any breaths coming out of the mouth, that's when you're going to start doing CPR. We used to train people to look for a pulse, but if they don't have a pulse, you're never going to find it. You could look forever.
If it's not beating, right?
Exactly. And if they're not breathing, even if they have a pulse, they're soon not going to have one. So you just go directly forward into starting doing compressions.
Okay, doctor, no one's breathing here.
No one's breathing here.
No one's breathing.
Okay, so you've already called 911. You're getting the professionals on their way. And then what you're going to do is put one hand down right on top of the other.
Does it matter left or right?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And you're going to put it right on the breastbone, right on the hard bone in the middle of your chest, right at the line of the nipples. One hand down on top of the other, and you're just going to push down and fast at about 100 beats a minute to the tune of Staying Alive.
And how does
1,
that go,
2,
Doctor?
3, 4, staying. You really don't want me singing.
I
1,
got it, though.
2, 3, 4, staying. It's a little
And you
faster
keep
than
doing
that.
this for how long?
You're going to do it until EMTs arrive,
Okay.
or until the patient starts breathing. So every now and then, they'll start breathing for you. They'll start moving again. At that point, you can stop. But normally, you're going to continue going until the point where someone else comes, or until a defibrillator can get here.
Okay.
We do have a couple of defibrillators here. This is an extremely important thing. We're seeing them more and more around our community, and this is actually what's going to shock the person's heart back into a normal rhythm. This is a model by Medtronic or Physio Control that we're going to be using that day. There are other models available, and hopefully we're going to be getting into more places, but they're very easy to use.
Okay. I know we have one here at News 8, but I don't know if I would know how to take it off the wall, Doctor.
The only thing you need to know how to do is always, there's a little green button. They're mandated to have a little button that turns them on. As soon as you turn it on, it's going to start talking to you.
Begin by removing all clothing from the patient's chest. Cut clothing.
And so you'll just follow the directions, which essentially is going to be taking out these pads, putting the pads down onto the patient.
Okay.
There's little pictures on the pads that will show you where to put them.
Okay, it's pretty easy then, right?
And then it's going to tell you to stop CPR for a moment so it can analyze. And if you need to shock, there'll be a little flashing red button that will tell you where to shock. One of the things that we've done recently is we've changed the Good Samaritan law in the state of Connecticut in order to support this kind of training so that people can feel comfortable learning this and performing this without any worry about liability. And so both compression-only CPR and also the use of defibrillators are now covered.
Now I want to ask you though, when I was in high school, say 5 years ago, this was kind of different. We were doing, mouth to mouth, yeah.
Right, mouth to mouth. What we realized with mouth to mouth is that the majority of us, myself included, if we came to a situation, we wouldn't do mouth to mouth appropriately. Plus, we also know that a lot of people are afraid of the ick factor. I mean, it's a little bit intimate. I mean, you don't know and you're not sure if you're doing it right, and it puts another huge barrier in between you and saving this person's life. Plus, now that with compression-only CPR, the research has shown that the outcomes are the same and maybe better than doing mouth-to-mouth. Because when this person collapses, they have a lung full of oxygen. So you have 6 to 10 minutes in order to continue pumping the blood through the body to keep the brain alive until the defibrillator, or EMS can arrive.
Wow. A lot of good information, Doctor. Thank you. And let's break the world record here. This is Saturday, August 25th from 8 to 6 p.m. at Chelsea Piers in Stamford. We'll have all the information on WTNH.com. And thank you so much for the lesson.
Wonderful. Thank you for having us.
All right. Coming up next, who says you can't have it all? Relationship expert Dr. Patty Ann Tevlin tells us all about her new book, Not Tonight, Dear, I've Got a Business to Run. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
We love your pics and videos of breaking news and severe weather. Now we want to see your eye for sports too. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and all your child's achievements on the field. Send them to us now through Report It. And thanks for being a part of the team.
Morning. Here's your invite. Have a good day. It's for my new show, Katie. Don't forget to watch. It's going to be fun.
Consider this your invitation.
Katie, premiering September 10th on News 8.
Car wreck? Get Carter.
I'm fired up about making the insurance company pay. To the big insurance company, you're just a name they don't know and a face they won't see. To them, it's just business. To you, it's personal. Don't let the insurance company stick you with an unfair settlement. Let me fight for what you deserve.
Car wreck? Get Carter. Call 1-800-900-6700.
Get fired up.
From Colonial Toyota in Milford, here's Bobby Crabtree.
When I set out to change the car business, I started right here in the showroom. No haggle saves you money. One associate saves you time. We actually made shopping for a car a pleasant experience. Here at Colonial Toyota, you'll always get our lowest possible price, regardless of your negotiating skills. When it comes to giving you the best car buying experience ever, I'm on top of it.
Welcome back to Connecticut Style. So ladies, do you have a hard time balancing your relationship and your job? Dr. Patty Ann Tublin has some tips on how you can have it all. Doctor, thanks for being here.
Great to be
here. This is an
here.
interesting topic. Can it really happen? Can you have both a career, a business, and a family life?
You can, but you have to have a plan. Things don't just happen. Your career doesn't just happen. And balancing your family and your career doesn't just happen. So you have to have a plan. You have to prepare for it.
All right, you have a best-selling book, Not Tonight, Dear, I've Got a Business to Run, Enrich Your Marriage While Prospering in Your Business.
Correct.
Tell us some of the details about the book and why you decided to write it.
Okay, well, what happened is, besides the fact that I'm a married mom with 4 children myself, whenever I speak to corporations or to entrepreneurs or to any group, women always come up to me and say, how do you do it? And we all know what the it is, right?
Sure.
How do you balance work and family? So what I did was I created a proven system where I show you, I basically am changing the conversation from balancing to reconciling. So I show you how to reconcile your work and your family responsibilities by creating a family plan that complements instead of competing against your business plan. So it's not a cookie-cutter approach. It's a very unique system that will work for you, that might not work for me, but it will work for you.
Okay, now is this something that all women are facing? I guess that comes down to, again, what exactly you want.
It depends upon what you want, because your business goals and your family goals might be different than mine. But yes, I think not only do all women face this, and this has been labeled a women's issue, but in fact, I think it's a family issue. Anyone that cares about families cares about this issue. Look, women make up more than 50% of the medical students today, of the law students. And economically, we cannot afford to lose women in the workplace anymore.
Got it. So what do you think the mistakes are? What are people, why is it not working?
Because I think we think it will just happen. We get married and we think that, okay, we're building our career and we don't have to change anything, and that's not true. But then you have your first kid and, you know, everything changes. So what you have to do is you have to decide, okay, how am I going to prioritize my family, my marriage, my child, and my career? And you might need to shift things a little bit, but that's okay. But if you think that it will just happen and that somebody else will have the answer for what you want for your life, then it won't work.
To make the plan, that's what you're
You
saying.
have to make the plan. And what's great about this plan is that it's flexible, so that as your business evolves or as your career evolves, either it gets bigger or you shrink it.
Okay.
And as your family life changes, you can go back to your family plan and rework it so that it now will complement what you want for what your business goals are.
So I guess what I'm taking away from this, Patty, is that we're making up the plan, but how do you start? I mean, I guess you have to think about your long-term goals.
Okay, you have to start with, the family plan acts like a map or a compass that guarantees that at least ensures that you and your partner are at least heading in the same general direction.
Okay.
And it's a conversation that changes. You know, what we want that makes us happy at 30 might not be what makes us happy at 35 or at 40.
And maybe the partner's not right. Does that ever come into play?
Well, you know, the partner is a really, really important choice here, because you really want to complement each other. You don't want to be competing against each other, and that's a whole other discussion.
All right, Doctor, we're just about out of time.
Sure.
The name of the book again is right here.
Not Tonight, Dear, I've Got a Business to Run.
And we can find it where?
You can find it on Amazon, or you can find it on my website, drpattyann.com.
A lot of information on there.
Right, and it's an Amazon bestseller. And it's
very
exciting because it's a bestseller in business and investing and relationships. So we married the two concepts,
Great
which is
advice.
how you have it all.
There you go, Doctor. Thank you so much for being here. Stay with us. More Connecticut Style after the break. We'll be right back.
Fall 2008. America faced financial collapse. Pensions and savings wiped out. Home values gone. Taxpayers paid Chris Murphy almost $170,000 a year while he sat on congressional committees that oversaw this crisis. But Murphy skipped 170 hearings, nearly 80%. And now he wants a promotion. Chris Murphy, how can he fight for us when he doesn't even show up for the job?
I'm Linda McMahon, and I approve this message.
Brian J. Mongaluzzo.
Automobile accidents happen every day and they're common. But at BGM Law, we treat them for what they really are, life-changing events. Whether it's a minor collision or a massive one, it's the most important thing in your life, and if we represent you, then it's the most important thing in our life as well. We want to do a good job, a great job so that that client goes and tells everybody they know, if you get injured, call Brian.
BJM Law, taking personal injury to a whole new level.
To discover what's new in design, we traveled the world, from the Ivory Coast to the ruins of Ephesus, explored cultures and found inspiration. It fueled our passion for beauty, and you'll find it in every piece of furniture we build.
The Kathy Ireland Home Collection, exclusively at Raymore and Flanagan.
Smart, sophisticated, affordable solutions for your home. That's what we do at Raymore and Flanagan.
All right, we're into wedding season. How does combining your wedding with your siblings and having one huge reception sound? Well, ABC's Biana Goldraga has a look.
Talk about big weddings. Not one, not two, but 5 siblings from one Arizona family said their I do's yesterday in a mega wedding to end all weddings.
Everything has been perfect. It's better than I could have imagined.
It's all good. It's all happy. Happiness is everywhere.
All 5 got engaged within months of one another. Sydney to Doug, Walker to Jillian, Emily to William, Bradford to Megan, and Brooke to Todd. Then one of them came up with the biggest proposal yet, a quintuple wedding.
I wanted it, but I didn't. I wanted my own day. My biggest sacrifice was not having a backyard.
We wanted to be together. And they all eventually came around.
With some convincing, all 5 couples bought in. After many planning sessions and preparations,
Every man for himself, scrambling to get things done.
The mega wedding day arrived. Their joint reception was preceded by 5 individual ceremonies, one right after the other. For little sister Andy, who was a bridesmaid in 4 of her siblings' weddings, that meant she had to don 4 different bridesmaids' dresses in a matter of just a few hours, giving always being a bridesmaid and never a bride a whole new meaning.
The groom. We're pretty happy.
It's played out perfectly without a hitch.
There were 5 wedding cakes, 28 bridesmaids, 30 groomsmen, 11 flower girls, and 1 unforgettable celebration.
The feeling is better than I ever thought it would be.
Wow, I don't know if that's for me, but...
Wouldn't be for me.
Right? Interesting concept, though.
Spouses to go along.
That's true.
Unless they were all the girls.
And a lot of presents you have to bring. All right, we're just about out of time, but Claire, let's try this Connecticut coleslaw.
I think we
Looks
should let you have
delightful.
a little bit of each, and then you could decide which
I'm
you
sure
like
it's going to be
better.
wonderful. We'll have the recipe at WTNH.com. It smells delightful. Everyone, thank you for coming in today. And most of all, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.